Okay, so I don't know how long this video will be. I don't know what I'm gonna say in this video really, but I just wanted to talk about losing my dog. Having to put my dog down on May 5th, 2025, and sometimes I do these kind of videos, talk about what's going on in my life. If anyone cares, I know some of my family watches these videos, but and it's so weird to not have headphones on and I can hear my voice fully, and I don't like it. But yeah, my dog was 15, Sheena. I've mentioned her in many different videos. She was always on my bed. She would be snoring or she would be licking herself or whatever loudly. And I would always say, sorry for if you can hear my dog, whatever. And so that was Sheena. And I believe I've shown her on the camera sometimes anyway. At the end of my videos, of course, I always show my dog Hershey, who died in 2020. That's who that is at the end of every video, if you ever see that anyway. And that's why I do that, because he passed away. And my phone, again, always leans up against Hershey's urn every video. I mean, right now, his urn is what's holding this phone up. Anyway, I don't know if I mentioned that before. But, yeah, so Sheena, she was 15, a senior dog, obviously. And we were lucky enough that up until this year, up until March, really, she never had any problems. I mean, I remember we would take her to the vet. She got hit, I mean, just to say, she got hit by a car when she was a puppy, like maybe one or two, I can't remember. But she got her paw run over, and they said she'll probably have arthritis when she gets older. Well, that never happened. She was still able to, jump up and down on my bed. She was still able to walk very well. So that was great, whatever. So anyway, just to say that much, she was a very resilient dog. But in March, she got an infection in her ears. They smelled terribly. Like yeast, I guess it was, some kind of that infection, which is just not good. So anyway, we got drops, and that went away. But then she got an infection in her private area, I guess I'll say, and by her butt. I mean, my goodness, she was dragging her butt on the ground and all that stuff. And we went back to the vet, got pills, that kind of recovered, and it came back in her ears again, but it didn't smell. Anyway, yeah, so she recovered again, but once the pills ran out, even when the pills were almost running out, she was licking herself again, a lot, and getting red down there again a lot, and then yeah, again, things were just coming even more. And then she always had lumps. She always had these benign, soft lumps, and again, it's just a thing they said that old dogs get. But recently, over the past like week, all of a sudden her lymph nodes, like before I went to work the other night, and again, I'm just getting right into it, I guess, but before I went to work the other night, and I was going to say, goodbye, Sheena, you'll love you, whatever. I touched her neck, and I was like, oh, it felt like hard golf balls, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, and I wasn't thinking about lymph nodes or whatever. I was like, what is that? Is that more tumors? So anyway, I didn't like that. So then, just on top of that, her gums became inflamed. She could hardly eat. Well, she could eat. She loved to eat, but like, again, we felt like she might choke to death. I mean, again, with these lymph nodes, and it just seemed like every time she would eat, she would hack up some food. She would puke or vomit, whatever, a little bit, not all of it back up, but she would puke, usually after she had like a normal sized meal. So then we had to start giving her little sized meals, I guess, smaller portions. And yeah, everything was just going downhill. And like I said, her gums were inflamed. She was getting even more lumps around on her, and it's just, I mean, she seemed uncomfortable. She was just out of energy by the end of it. I walked her, well, now it's May 6th as I do this, so yesterday morning, whatever, I walked her for the last time, and I didn't even know, like, I don't know, because when we went to the vet, I'm all over the place, but, bear with me. When we went to the vet, I thought, I don't know, I didn't think we were going to put her down that day. I thought, oh, you make an appointment, and then, and then you do it. But like, so anyway, yeah, so I didn't think about, oh, this will be the last walk, whatever. But she was walking very slowly, and she was very, I mean, starting and stopping, whatever. And again, she's 15, she's older. And usually when you put the leash on her, she would, be a bit more peppy. But for the past couple days, she was not like that. I kind of had to lift her up a little bit to put the harness around her. Yeah, and it was just, I mean, yeah, no good. So anyway, I feel like even if we didn't put her down, she was going to be going soon enough, and I just wanted to put her, to stop the pain. Again, she felt like she was uncomfortable. It looked like she was uncomfortable, and she was so disoriented as well. I mean, she was going blind as well. She had the white in her eyes, and she was going kind of deaf as well. I mean, again, she was an older pup, and anyway, so we said, okay, I called the vet today, especially for those lumps around her neck, and that was what that was all about. So I called them. They said, okay, come in at 3. And I said, well, my goodness, all right. And then they called and said, why don't, we have a cancellation. Do you want to come in at 10 a.m.? And I said, okay. So we went in at 10. We went, and the doctor, the vet, whatever, he said, it looks, we could do a test on these lymph nodes, whatever, but it looks like cancer. And he said, we could do a test on that. That'll be like almost $300. We could get an answer back today, and we could give you more steroids. But she's been on steroids for so long, and like they said, dogs shouldn't be on these kind of steroids. Especially, she was a littler dog, whatever, about like 25 pounds, whatever. But we never even know what mix she was, to be honest. Like a Pomeranian kind of Shih Tzu mix. That's what we were told. She kind of looked like a Spaniel. I don't know. She was just a mix of a bunch of shit. But she was, pretty as all get out. Anyway, I don't know why I said that or what that was about. But anyway, yeah, she was a smaller dog. So again, taking these steroids, it's not healthy in the long run. And when he was saying all that stuff, we could do this or whatever, I looked over at my dad. Me and him were the one that went to the place, the vet, and he was kind of shaking his head, no, like, yeah, or he's like, and then the vet said, or we could do euthanasia. And I said, yeah, that's kind of what we thought. But again, I wasn't thinking like, oh, they could do it today. I don't know why. I was just thinking like, you got to make an appointment. I thought there was a special place, but no, they just do it in the vet room. I guess some places have a specialized room for that, but at this place it was just in the same, room or whatever, where you get a checkup room. So anyway, we said, okay, we'll go through with that. And they said, you're not making the wrong decision. You're making the right choice here. Obviously, she's had a long, good life and all that stuff. And she just seems to be failing. It's one thing after another, and she seems uncomfortable. And I guess that's one thing I asked, is just like, well, what do you think? And then again, they just kind of and they make you feel better, and they make you feel good, whatever. You're not making the wrong choice. This does seem like it could only get worse. So yeah. And so I mean, I never went through a process like that. When my dog Hershey died, he had heart problems, and he got very skinny. I remember that was a big problem for him. But he never deteriorated in the way that Sheena did. Sheena was very, again, her eyes were going white. She was going blind, and again, she was 15 years older. Hershey died when he was 10. But yeah, she was looking old. She didn't look like the dog my family once knew. I once knew, and she wasn't acting like it either. And it was just so weird. Because again, you know this dog for so long, since I was 12 and now I'm 27, and this is not the dog that I once knew. Again, she was not herself. She was so like disoriented, like I said. But anyway, so when Hershey died, like I was trying to say, he died. I gave him his pill. He had to take these heart pills, and I gave him his pill, and I was going to go for a walk. I remember this, and then all of a sudden, like whatever, I gave him his pill. Maybe like 2 minutes later, he started shaking and whatever. I don't know, maybe a seizure, I guess you would say. And that's what I think. Was it an overdose of these pills I had to give him? Was it, or was he just, it was his time to go? And again, I'm so happy I wasn't out the door yet. Because yeah, once he started shaking, I said, "What the hell's going on?" I picked him up, and he died in my arms about 2 minutes later. And he, urinated on me, and I was just like, "Oh God!" But again, in that way, it was so. I mean, that sounds so traumatic, but I did not cry that much. But I cried a lot more when we had to put down Sheena today. So anyway, like I'm saying, Sheena went very much, I guess, much more peacefully. I mean, when Hershey died, again, shaking and all this stuff, and I'm just saying, like, I had to wake up my mom and be like, Hershey's not doing well here. So it was a very traumatic situation. I remember my mom calling the vet and crying and all this stuff. Anyway, so with Sheena, we went in there, and they sedated her. She, lays down, whatever. After a while, I had her and petting her. Well, then they put the euthanasia in there, in her. And again, these veterinarians were just so kind, so nice. And I know I live, a lot of people who watch my video live in the UK or wherever the fuck. But where I live anyway, this animal hospital, Avenue Animal Hospital is what the name is. They did so well. And like my dad said, he's had to put down a lot of dogs, and he's come across a lot of people who are very, quicker, just like, okay, you ready to get this over with? Let me kill this bitch. But these guys were just very nice, very professional, and they dimmed the lights, and it was just like, it was like a show, not a show, that sounds weird, but it was just like, I don't know, it was so theatrical in the best way possible. And anyway, and they were just so nice. And anyway, there was 4 different doctors there, and one of them who has been seeing Sheena for the past, couple months here, who saw her decline. And I asked her again, because it was a different doctor who saw her at first, and I asked her, I said, "What do you think?" She said, and yeah, she was like, "Yeah, you're making the right choice." Anyways, just to say that again. But yeah, so it was so peaceful compared to Hershey again. And she died. I was touching her, whatever. I wanted to make sure I was, telling her I love her, all this stuff. And yeah, and then she went, and it was just, again, it was just, he put the stethoscope, perhaps, is it? I can't remember what those things are called. Put it to her chest and said she's gone. And it's just so weird. I mean, again, when we were driving there, I wasn't thinking about, okay, this is my last drive with Sheena. She's on my lap here. She's drooling on me, for God's sakes, looking out the window, sniffing out the window. And I wasn't thinking like, okay, this is the last day. But I guess maybe that was cope. Maybe I was coping. Again, I just didn't know how putting, I didn't know what all entailed putting a dog down. I thought, okay, maybe they'll make an appointment again. But anyway, so yeah, and then we go in, and she was just so uncomfortable anyway. We had to weigh her and all that stuff. I don't even know how much she weighed. I guess I could look at the papers they gave me. I don't know what she weighed at the end of it. But yeah, and it's just so quick. Like, they're gone. It's so weird. And again, I know it's not a person, but a lot of people know, and a lot of people have dogs or pets, cats, whatever it is, and they're like family. And again, I've known Sheena. I've had Sheena since I was 12, like I said, and she saw me grow up. She saw me go through such my formative years, I guess is the word maybe I want to use there. From 12 to 27, I mean, you graduate, I got my license, I got a job, I've lost over 100 pounds, the last few years. My parents split up, I moved houses, sold my childhood home, whatever. I didn't sell it, but I didn't see any money, obviously, and so yeah, anyway, it's just, obviously, all these milestones, all these accomplishments, whatever it is, all these things that happen in your life from 12 to 27, she was there, and it was just so weird that, you come home now, and, hold on, I'm gonna try to continue on here. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to get through this without, tearing up. Anyway, there's a pause. This is real shit. So anyway, like I said, we came home, and it was just so weird. You go to the place with your dog, and then you leave without her. And that's the bare, we know this is gonna happen. But it's just so weird that then they're just gone. And anyway, she's going to be cremated, I gotta say as well. I'll get her urn, and I'll probably put it in a big urn with her and Hershey. Again, my childhood dogs, more than my childhood, obviously. Again, now I'm so much older. But anyway, like I was saying, and now I don't remember what I was saying earlier, so I might repeat myself. But when I got home, it's just like, obviously, we just got home from the vet. And not to be greeted by your dog is just so weird. Not to hear her paws coming down the stairs, and she would take one stair at a time. It's just like, bump, bump, bump. So you heard her coming. But anyway, and it was just my cat. And now I have a kitty. He's not even a year old yet, so that's the only pet I have. But he's very independent, and that's, I like that he's independent. But Hershey and Sheena were always so attached to me. They were always around me. They always slept with me. So it's just so much different. Like, my cat will sleep on his bed outside of my room. Like, he doesn't want to come in and sleep in my bed. So anyway, it's just such a different animal. And it's just like, I don't think, and that's one thing I thought about. I don't think I'll ever feel the love and companionship in another animal that I felt from Hershey and Sheena. And again, I don't know, there's such a special bond there. And even after Hershey died, again, me and Sheena got so much closer. I gotta say, when Hershey was around, Sheena was a bit more, I don't know if I'd say distant, but we did get closer once Hershey passed away. And, Hershey was he liked people a lot more. Sheena was a bit more weary. But once Hershey was gone, she got a lot more closer. And again, she became very, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Attached anyway, when I would leave the house, she would bark sometimes, whatever, stuff like that. But, yeah, so it's just so weird. I woke up, I had a nap, because, I hardly slept last night, because, again, thinking about going to the vet. And when I woke up from my nap today, I was like, oh, I gotta go watch Sheena. No, I don't. I was just like, what the hell? And when I woke up too, I was like, oh, I didn't leave a light on. Sheena probably can't even see. And then again, I threw my arms up in the air. I'm laying on my bed. I threw my arms up in the air. I'm like, what am I saying? She's not even here. And it's just so weird. And as well, we have her, because I would give her every night her pumpkin and her wet dog food, because they said, pumpkin helps with bowel movements, whatever. So that would happen every night. And now that's in the fridge. I guess we just throw it out. Throw out the dishes too, because those dishes, they've been using them. She's been using them forever, and she had one specialized dish, whatever, and now she's gone. So that's gone too. I bought a new bag of dry dog food the other day, and that's just sitting under my bed. I mean, that's, you know, history as well. I gave the treats to my sister for her dog. So it just, you know, so many different things. You know, you come home and I see, you know, we had to put a cone on her, an e-collar, whatever they call it, so she wouldn't lick herself, you know, through the last bit of it. And you know, I go in and that's just sitting on my sister's bed because my sister's away in school, so I put that on her bed. You know, I got this set of stairs so it would help her walk up the bed if she needed. She never used it. The cat would use it, but she never used it. She'd always just jump off and jump on. Yeah, so anyway, you just come home and you see all the remnants. I don't know, you see these memories automatically. And it's just like, when I got home, I didn't even want to come upstairs. Because I come upstairs, and I like that, I walked in my room, and I stepped on my rug, and I stepped in vomit. And I was like, oh my God. But it made me sad, it made me tear up. Vomit made me tear up. I guess that's the first time that's ever happened. So yeah, I was just like, again, she was obviously not in good shape. But just things like that. Or I see a pee spot on the carpet, I'm like, my goodness. And then again, it's just like, oh, right, she's gone. I mean, and again, another thing, we have pee pads in one area in the house because that's where she would go pee or whatever. We would let her outside. That was one thing too. We had to start letting her outside a lot more often. And that's one sign too, when your dog, you know, can't control their bladder. I mean, that's another sign that they're probably on their way out, whatever. But anyway, but now those are gone, and my dad already put some stuff there, like the vacuum, whatever. I don't know. So it's just like, it's so fucking weird. They just got to move on. And also when I went to the grocery store today, after it all happened, and I had to get some cat food and some cat litter. You know, when they ask, like the cashier saying, how you doing, whatever, you don't want to say terrible, you know, my dog died, how you doing? You know, so you just say, oh, I'm great, whatever the fuck. You don't want to be inconvenient for them, because what the hell, you know, I don't want to trauma dump on them. But yeah, it's just those kind of things. It's just like, you gotta pretend everything's fine, you know. But again, it was the first day where we just lost her, and now it's 2 a.m. as I do this, May 6th. It hasn't even been 24 hours since she's been gone. And again, when I went for my nap earlier, right beside me, she always slept. And, you know, I could smell her still. Like I said, we had the e-collar. I can smell her there. Her collar, I put that up. You'd smell her there. I cut off a bit of her fur. I don't know, just because, and put that in a baggie. And I'm going to put that in an urn, whatever, when that all comes back. But anyway, it's just so weird. And again, I'm just starting this whole grieving process. But again, I know some people don't look at dogs as family, or they don't look at dogs like some others do. But again, dogs are part of family for me. Dogs are, you know, more than family. I mean, all this stuff. They are like, you know, a little, I don't know what the fuck, a little brother, whatever, her little sister, whatever you want to say. Yeah, but yeah, me and Sheena were inseparable at the end of it. The last few years, I should say, especially. And you know, going through just what life throws at you, and you always come home and there's Sheena, and or again, whoever you are, there's your dog, there's your cat, whatever it is, whatever animal, there's your parrot, I don't know, and you pat them, you hug them, whatever it is. They don't know what's going on in your life. Well, they might, you know, but they don't know what life is all about, and you know, the things you go through, but they're always there for you to comfort you. And yeah, so it's just so that's just not going to be there anymore. And again, I don't know if how long it will take me to get over, you know, oh, I got to walk Sheena. Wait, no, I don't. Oh, I got to give her her pumpkin. Oh, I got to let her outside. Like, before I go to bed, or before I went to bed every night, I would let her out, and then, you know, I would give her her dentist stick. And, you know, but now it's just like, oh, I can just go to bed, I guess. I don't have to do anything. You know, I don't have to do anything for the cat. He has a litter box. I could just go pee and then go to my bed, and that's it. It's just so weird. I have not had that life since I was 12. And I don't even remember being 12. So, like, it's just so weird. And it's going to take some getting used to here. But yeah, I wanted to make a video about this. Anyway, just to say, because again, I've talked about Sheena in different videos. And again, about her snoring or whatever. I brought her up. And yeah, so it's just so weird automatically. But I don't know, maybe it'll get better soon. I'm sure. Well, and I gotta say too, after Hershey died, I had some lucid, weird dreams, like where I could see Hershey. Like I'd be in my kitchen and I'd be with my family, and I'd be like, "Do you see Hershey? He's right there." And I'd be like saying, "He's right here," whatever. And he was running around and all that stuff, and he looked so much better because again, he had the heart problems, but he looked so much better. He looked healthier, and in a way, I was like, "Oh." and I don't believe, I'm not spiritual and all this stuff. I'm an atheist. But anyway, so I just, in my dreams anyway, it's almost a way of saying like he's good, he's healthy now, whatever the fuck that means. So I'm just thinking like for myself now, I'm just like, am I gonna have dreams about Sheena? I mean, I'd love that. My God. So yeah, I don't know, just to say that at the end, but yeah, my dreams then were nuts. I was like, holy frick, I've never had these kind of lucid dreams. But yeah, so anyway, rest in peace to my Sheena Bug, as we called her, the Boog. We called her, I don't know, my dad had an old dog called Sheena Bug, and he wanted to name this one Sheena, so we said, all right. And she was the runt of the litter. He picked her out, and we were only going to get Hershey, but then he fell in love with her, so he got her, and I'm glad he did. Yeah, just a big portion of my life gone, and this chapter of my life is over. Again, I feel like I cried a lot more because both of my childhood dogs are gone. I don't know if I already said that or not, but both dogs are gone, and it's just like, they're gone forever. You know, I'll live to 80 if I am so, you know, lucky, and I won't have known Sheena for the last like 50 something years. It's just so weird how it's just like, okay, we move on. You know, the world keeps spinning. Nobody, you know, you care, but nobody else really cares as much. And it's just, I don't know. You know, except for your own family. But yeah, so anyway, it just feels so weird and different, and I don't like it at all. And like I said, but it's just the first day, not even 24 hours yet. So anyway, I guess that's all I gotta say. So there you go, just a little update. And that's, you know, the last few weeks I haven't been making too many videos. I was sick. I did have a big cough, but also I've been very stressed about Sheena, and I just haven't been able to sleep. And maybe I'll get some sleep, you know, finally. I don't know, now that she is gone, and now that I do know that she's not hurting anymore and all that stuff. But anyway, I guess that's all I gotta say. So thanks for watching. Thanks for, I did share a post, and some people watch my videos, are friends with me on Facebook. So I appreciate people who, you know, gave their condolences, whatever, and through Instagram as well. You know, I really appreciate that stuff. And yeah, people, you know, talk to me, you know, people know I love that dog and all this stuff, and it's just very nice to, you know, hear those kind words, whatever. And it was just Sheena's time. But anyway, this video is so long now, I apologize. But anyway, thanks, if you're still here, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff. Thank you for just, you know, the support on every video. And it just feels so weird doing a video without a dog on the bed. It feels so empty. And again, it's just going to take so much getting used to for this kind of shit. But anyway, thanks for everything. I'll talk to you guys again soon.